I also want to talk about some of your recent work. I know that you had a recent Esquire interview where you talked about your big move and some of the ways that's changed the way that you think about groups of people moving from New York down to the South. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Well, I live in New York. I live in New York City. I have lived here for 12 years now. And my experience with specifically working with the show We're Here and traveling back to the South, I actually having this whole discussion. I have to move in 2 months. Basically, I have to move, and I'm deciding where I'm going to move. If I'm going to stay in New York, if I'm going to go back home to Atlanta, if I'm going to go over to Los Angeles, maybe. And it's been really stressing me out a lot.
I can understand.
And for more reason than one, but the idea of when you're queer, you have to consider more than just where you're moving. It's not just I'm moving to the South. It's where am I moving? When I feel safe? When I feel protected?
Yeah. I can't imagine. It's got to be incredibly difficult. And you mentioned there also We're Here, where you go across the country recruiting people from these small towns to participate in a one night only drag performance. Tell me a little bit about that.
So We're Here is a show that we're really excited to be a part of. It's on HBO, and we go into these towns, and I think people think it's a makeover show. That's a common misconception. It's not like Queer Eye or one of those kind of shows. And by the way, those shows are great and hugely impactful to the queer community. This show is more so, we the stuff that we're leaving town with. When we leave town, you can't really use the stuff we left you with. What are you gonna do with this orange wig and this one of a kind outfit? It's not gonna change. But it's really more so about the experience and uplifting queer voices and marginalized voices. I'm so proud that we have highlighted Indigenous people and trans people and Black people and Latinx people and Asian people. We really are, in my opinion, doing a really great job at uplifting marginalized voices, especially in these small towns where they feel unheard.
Yeah, and while you were doing the filming, did anything happen in one of these towns that really surprised you? Anything about the reception or the process of actually organizing the events?
Yeah, I was really surprised when I got to Twin Falls, Idaho, and found out there was a big drag community. I was like, oh my God, there's a drag community here with a hierarchy and everything. I'm always lovingly surprised when I see how many people show up to see us in these towns. It's always overwhelming in a great way.
Yeah, it seems like you mentioned some of the other shows, dissimilar from yours in a variety of ways, and it seems like it's becoming a little bit more common. You acknowledged how important those shows have been to the community. Oh, yeah. Do you think that it's becoming far more normalized that you're gonna see, you talked about people might immediately think that your show is one kind of thing, that it's about a makeover, but it's not really about that you can have these subtle variations. That are you expecting to see a proliferation of that, with streaming services and all of that?
That's a good question. I'm not the Nostradamus of TV. I can't tell you what's gonna happen next. But I do hope, I don't know that necessarily this format needs to happen for everyone, but what I would love that people to echo from this show and other shows too, by the way, is inclusion in what you see on TV. The noting that representation matters. And when you go out and you do your casting, consider that there is an Indigenous person who watches your show who needs to see a reflection of themselves. Consider there is a trans person who might be watching your show who needs to see a reflection of themselves as well. So I hope that is a trend that echoes throughout the cosmos. And it's something I'm really proud to say that I've been a part of many shows like that. Black Lady Sketch Show on HBO, RuPaul's Drag Race on VH1, also Tales of the City on Netflix. I'm really lucky to be a part of such something that a person like me gets cast when you are on a show that specifically casts diversely.
And I'm sure that people watching this get the impression that you've been involved in a lot of projects. Do you have anything upcoming that you'd like to let people know about?
Well, as of right now, I'm just working on doing season 2 of We're Here, revving up for season 2, which is really, really exciting. And I'm also trying to prepare some future plans, which nothing's been finalized yet. But right now, I'm focusing most of my energy on We're Here season 2.
Okay, Val the Drag Queen, thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it.
My pleasure, thank you.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.